think Gavin Williamson should sit in the sixth form office and answer the phone calls from the students and from the parents.
Yeah, I do.
Because when you're sitting there, and we spoke to a student who was a BTEC student, and they had been given a distinction merit overall to A-level equivalent.
Yeah.
And because they had been awarded a U for their external assessment, they had been marked down for a U for everything. And when you're sitting there and they're saying, why is this happening? You say, well, because statistically you're at the bottom of the ranking, and that's why.
Right.
And that's a hollow thing to say.
Yeah, of course.
But to answer your question, why this has happened, Ofqual, and this is going to sound quite controversial, aren't really that interested, I think, in students. They're interested in protecting the integrity of the exam system.
Yes.
So every year, when students do exams, the grade boundaries for papers are reassessed. So about 3 years ago, there was a huge reassessment, say, for example, at GCSE maths. So they increased the grade boundaries for, it was the old CD borderline, by about 8% because the students had been done particularly well that year.
Yes.
So we had a number of students who didn't achieve that C grade, which is life-changing for those students. So every year, Ofqual manipulate the data to protect their curves.
To do overall trends and curves, as you say. Okay, I understand that.
And when we speak to students, we always say to them, look, we care about you, we care about your results in your future, but the exam board doesn't. The exam board sees you as a number.
Yeah.
So they are really interested in protecting the curve, and I think the government are just lazy.
So in many ways, the algorithms' inadequacies were largely foreseeable. Yes. Although the sheer scale of the debacle probably couldn't have been foreseen. But the government's job would have been, sorry, I just need to get this out because you're a bit cleverer than me and I'm playing catch-up. The government's job should have been to ask the questions about the individual students. The government's job should have been to work out where the tension was between protecting the curve, as it were, and representing their constituents, representing voters and their children.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right. And they haven't done that because I mean, even me, I could ask one question and I could have pulled the whole thing to pieces.
Yeah, but you always knew that the disadvantaged children would be the ones who would suffer in this the most.
Well, when you say you always knew, who always knew?
The education, I think teachers. If you talk to teachers, you talk about the networks because we work in networks. You know, we talk to people across schools.
Yeah, of course.
We moderate across schools. But if they were ever going to use previous data, if you've got children coming from disadvantaged primary schools where the Key Stage 2 SAT data isn't as good, then that's always going to be used. But I think the thing that really shocked us on Thursday when Ofqual actually released what the standardisation process was, because they didn't tell us, apart from that one sentence until Thursday, was that it was the classes of less than 5 and the classes of less than 15, and the fact that they just absolutely ignored the centre assessment grades.